Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the 0 to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so as we left off from yesterday, we went over the Silas Orb and how, well, the Silas Sphere of Transmutation and how we best go about getting a hold of one. Since then, I've actually obtained my tidal core, and now it is time to actually move on from that by creating the Iwen staff. Now, just so you know, I have already actually produced it, so I know how long it's roughly going to take you in order to actually get a hold of all this stuff. So that being the case, this is going to be the guide on how to get Iwen's Enchanting Rod. So without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so when you're actually wanting to craft Iwen's Enchanting Rod, once you've done the actual quest line for it in order to learn it, this will pop up once you actually hit around about max level on your enchanting, and then you just follow the chain quest, and once that's done you will be granted with this in order to actually create Iwen's Enchanting Rod. Now just bear this one in mind. The real reason why this is so great for enchanters is not because of the on-use effect of consuming one veiled crystal to animate an inert golem. Nope, that's just a funny little thing that really doesn't give you that much of an uptick, so to speak. It is the unique effect of gain extra resources when you're in disenchanting. This means if you're doing like the Tidespray Linen Braces flip, you will get additional different types of mats. So say instead of getting one Umber Shard, you get 3, or you have a chance of getting a veiled crystal from those, and therefore you get more resources, which makes the flip even more profitable. So that being the case, let's go down all of the list of ingredients in which to craft Iwen's Enchanting Rod. So the first one is the Grasping Wicker Arm. Now this one is going to be coming up with a little bit of a bung on the map, and that is because you're going to actually have to go over to Drustvar, and what you're going to be wanting to doing is by going all the way over to the left hand side of Drustvar, and what you'll be wanting to search for is a mob called the Gnarled Hulk. Now this thing is huge, so you're not really going to miss it, so to speak. This has a chance to actually drop the Grasping Wicker Arm, in which you only need 1 to actually create your Iwen staff. Pretty much, it's pretty much 100% drop chance. When getting hold of this, it's really easy in order to do, and all you have to do is just make sure that that elite is up and then just take him out. Moving on to the next one on our list, which is the Brimstone of Thrusts, and that can be obtained through Gorak Tool, the actual dungeon of the Waycrest Manor. He is the last boss, Gorak Tool, in the Waycrest Manor instance, and all you have to do is kill him on either heroic or normal difficulty, and even mythic if you really wanted to. Aside from that, it is 100% drop chance when you're actually killing Gorak Tool, so what you just need to do is just do the dungeon. Along with that, that is pretty much dead simple to get hold of that crafting material for Iwen's Enchanting Rod. The other thing that of note that you do get alongside the Waycrest Manor is the Lingering Drust Essence. Now you need about 50 of these. You can actually get these from the trash mobs within the Waycrest Manor instance. Now there are a couple of certain other spots which are outside of the dungeon, but it doesn't really matter all that much. From my experience, every run netted me with like 19 of these Lingering Drust Essences, so it took me about 3 runs in total to get hold of my runestone and my 50 Lingering Essences. 3 runs of the actual run, and if you're doing it on normal and you queue up as a tank or a healer, you're pretty much going to be golden, so to speak. I queued up as a DPS because I'm a mage, and it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but we got it done overall. Now aside from that, the other things that you're actually going to need for Iwen's Enchanting Rod is 20 Umber Shards. You can get hold of this by either crafting the Tidespray Linen Braces and disenchanting them, or you can just buy those off of the auction house. The other one that you do need is 10 veiled crystals. Now there are a variety of different ways in order to get a hold of these. You can either go with the easy route, which I did, which is buy them off the auction house, or you can do your daily world quests in order for your gear. That means that if you have to replace a epic piece of item, you can then disenchant that for a veiled crystal. The other way of going about this is doing a couple of raids and getting hold of the epic items there. Overall, it's really not that hard to get hold of 10 Veiled Crystals and 20 Umbra Shards. Just disenchant, disenchant, disenchant with your world quests and do a couple of dungeons and raids, and you should have enough of those. Aside from all of that, the other thing of note that I would recommend is just buy them off the auction house, because 20 Umbra Shards and 10 Veiled Crystals don't accumulate that much gold, and it's roughly around about 4,000 to 5,000 on my realm, but do take that into consideration that I am a hype-op server, so things cost a lot less. Which moves us on to our last thing of note for Iwen's Enchanting Rod, and that is 10 Expulsum. If you are trying to get a hold of Expulsum, like I stated yesterday, you can either craft braces from the blacksmithing, tailoring or leatherworking and scrapping those for 10 Expulsum, or another way in order to get hold of Expulsum is just by doing your daily armor world quests. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to cost you an awful lot of gold. It cost me around about 800 gold just to scrap a load of Expulsum. Other than that, it didn't cost me all that much to actually scrap all of my Tidespread braces for Expulsum with this character, and I found this to be quite an easy way of going about things. Now, aside from all of that, the other thing of note is you have your Enchanting Rod now. So what do you do with this Enchanting Rod? Well, this is what we're going to actually be doing. We're going to go down to Tidespray Linen Braces, and we're going to actually do a nice little tidbit. So we're going to craft 10 of these braces and see what's actually going to go about. So obviously we've got this in our bag right now for Iwen's Enchanting Rod, and when you're actually crafting the braces, you usually get around about 5 gloom dust without the Iwen's Enchanting Rod. Now with Iwen's Enchanting Rod, it's going to be a lot easier for you to actually get a hold of all this stuff. So what we'll do is we'll disenchant this, and we can actually see that we got 8 gloom dust when we actually did that, and then all we have to do is just keep doing that. That's 9, and now 7. So it increases the amount of gloom dust you're actually going to get a hold of when you're actually doing all of this jazz. Is pretty damn cool, and it does increase the amount of gold that you actually get along with this. So judging by all of this, this will actually give us a load of gloom dust to sell in the auction house or use for our crafts. The other thing that I would recommend is by double checking your worth it add-on in the flipping module, which it can be located just in the drop down menu, and all we go to is disenchanting, and we look for Tidespray Braces. Tidespray Braces at this moment in time net me with 589 gold for every 100 I disenchant, and along with that, that means with Iwen's Enchanting Rod, as this does not take Iwen's into consideration, that means I'm going to get more profit with the rod than the disenchanting actually states for the Tidespray Linen Braces on the worth it add-on, because it goes off of not having that tool of the trade. So if it is showing a positive, you're going to make a little bit more than that. It came to, for me, with my actual workings out of 100 of those, it produced me with about 250 odd gold extra on top of what my Tidespray Linen Braces actually produced. So aside from that, guys, let's get into the gold for the day. Now, the gold for the day is pretty dead simple, and what we have is 44,648 gold. Now, the things that are of note is 20 Ghastly Goulash for 3,568 gold, and along with that, 30 Dredged Leather Bladders for 5,722 gold, an Uncanny Combatant Satin Mittens of the Aurora for 1,421 gold, along with another Ghastly Goulash, 9 of those for 1,146 gold. The other things of note is another Ghastly Goulash, 8 of those for 1,019 gold, and a Mechanized Chopper we sold for 25,650 gold. That has produced us pretty damn awesome profit right there. The last thing is Ghastly Goulash once again. Seriously, Ghastly Goulash was selling pretty damn hot last night for 30 of those for 3,823 gold. So for the days that I haven't actually been crafting for the last couple of days, we've just been letting it run, and that's netted us with 44,648 gold. Obviously I've been doing other things to increase our gold and then move forward. If you haven't noticed, in my bags we're about 100,000 gold less than what we had yesterday. That is because I've done something. Heads up, I bought 100,000 gold's worth of Tide Spray linen. So be prepared for that video to come out. I gotta do some disenchanting. But aside from all of that, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. Take it easy, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.